saddle hunting it just gets stereotyped into public land constantly. It shines there. You know, you get a lightweight mobile system. Public land usually is large tracts of land that you normally couldn't afford to own the whole piece yourself, so you get to explore a lot more. But God, is it a hell of a tool on a private farm, especially if you haven't used that tool on that farm before, you know, where you can all of a sudden just be somewhere they do not expect. And I don't think that gets talked about enough, to be honest with you. It's as much a private land tool as it is a public land tool, in my opinion. And sometimes it's even shines a little bit more there.
Welcome to the Habitat Podcast, the podcast for wildlife habitat management, hunting strategy, and land stewardship. And now, your host, Jared Van Hees.
Welcome to the Habitat Podcast.
All right, guys, we're back. We have Mr. Andy Hutchins over there co-hosting from the Great White North. How you doing, Andy?
I'm doing good. I'm cold today, but we're warming up tomorrow, so we're good to go. I like it. How about you? How you been?
Good. Busy over here. It's sunny, waiting for some snow to melt so I can cut some more trees without tripping over myself in 2 foot of snow and getting, fell on. But doing good. Good. We have a awesome guest today, Mr. Cory Godar from Latitude Outdoors. How you doing, Cory?
Good, guys. Good. Appreciate you having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
We're excited to have you on. We've been obviously partnered with Latitude for a while now. Been rocking the gear, love the gear, and we figured nobody better to get on here and talk about new gear than you.
I think I can think of a few better people, but I am happy to do it. So,
well, we appreciate that.
We've had Kevin on, we've had Jake on. So I guess you're just next in line, I guess, right?
knocking down the list, So that's awesome. Well, guys, very excited.
Good, man. For those who don't know who you are, let's hear about who you are, where you're from, what you do at Latitude, and kind of how you got into this position and lifestyle at this point.
Yeah, for sure. So Cory Godar, I'm down in Cincinnati, Ohio. Born and raised here. Never left, unfortunately, but fortunately, I do like it here. But that's it's definitely a Cincinnati thing that not a lot of people leave. And I realized quickly that's kind of beneficial to hunting because there's a lot of good states pretty close to here. You kind of pop around, live 15, 20 minutes from Indiana, 15, 20 minutes from Kentucky. And, I only get one buck in Ohio, but it's kind of like living in a $2 state when you just hop over the property or the state line there pretty fast. But yeah, I've been bow hunting for, almost 15-ish years now. Started kind of mid high school. Studied computer information systems at University of Cincinnati and kind of wanted to go into the tech world and somehow landed in the marketing world doing that. And built a pretty good relationship with Alex early on, right as they launched Latitude. And he had been sending me some gear to use, from day one. And him and I kind of just hit it off and noticed quickly, they were taking Latitude very serious and trying to grow it very fast. And at the time I had been doing a lot of digital marketing for like a travel company and, spending a ton of time deep in the website world, the SEO world, marketing campaigns, Facebook ads, all that jazz. And started paying attention to what they were doing just through talking to them and learned a little bit about their background and appreciate everything they were kind of trying to put into Latitude. It didn't seem like they were just trying to launch a little, part-time side hustle out of their basement, even though that kind of was what it was at the time. They were really trying to turn it into something special. And so that grabbed my attention. Started helping Alex out just for free, just to help out where I could because I appreciated what he was doing. And literally one day he up and called me and said, "Hey, we're hiring a marketing director and we're going to go all in and quit our jobs and do this." And he's like, "You should apply for it." So applied. They sent me through this third-party hiring process, because they know a lot about marketing. They're very smart, but they joke that they know nothing about marketing and needed somebody from a marketing world to talk to me. So we went through that, got the job. They quit their jobs. I quit my job, and we went full bore at it. So it's kind of how I ended up here. And hunting wise, it's been a massive blessing because I grew up mobile hunting. I grew up with a climber, but I also had the opportunity to hunt like my uncle's farm. I hunted a lot of suburban property and stuff local to my house. But then, Cincinnati has, there's public around. It's kind of far, but they do have programs like where you can hunt county land and stuff like that. So I was doing that, and running around, these big, large tracts of county land, and just fell in love with mobile hunting. But I definitely didn't have the best equipment to do it. Started kind of seeing the saddle trend the same way I think a lot of people were in all those online niches, and got some local seamstress to sew me a saddle. Got my first saddle. I built a platform out of an old Lone Wolf seat and bought a aluminum post and some bat wings and Jimmy rigged that thing together and dented the crap out of it. And I literally would be up in the tree and I'd have to like cockeye this dented aluminum post. And what the hell are we doing? So I really appreciated all the, watching the gear kind of commercialize and, real engineering get behind it and seeing all that. And so just had I think a deep appreciation for it and had a connection to Latitude, that this all kind of just fostered there. That's how I got here.
All right. I'll tell you what, I'm jealous of you guys being down there where you can bounce to other states so fast. It's like 6 hours for me to get out of the state. So being where you're at is pretty cool. I wish I had that. So if you want to switch places, I'm in.
Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't necessarily know. I mean, I knew about Michigan, but I didn't know the beauty of Michigan until I started going up there for Latitude, spending a lot more time up there. And
mm-hmm.
I mean, even the summertime up there, like the amount of just small little lakes that are scattered through Michigan, and like there's guys just the whole jet skiing scene, the boating scene. Like I didn't realize that was such a big piece of Michigan. I mean, Michigan's beautiful. I had a very skewed perspective, living down by a bunch of Buckeye fans, I think was the ordeal there, But I love Michigan, man. I think if the day ever came that I had to move, I would do it joyfully, I don't know that I would appreciate the longer drive, like you're saying, to get a few places, but I think it's a beautiful place.
Yep, it's 6 1, half dozen the other kind of situation, but
right,
we love it. We love it.
Yeah, I've always said, why don't I move to Iowa and live there and chase these big bucks and everything else? But the older I get, it's like that's the one thing we're missing. We still have good deer here, but it's the one thing we're missing is like a top quality whitetail program. Other than that, catch any fish you want, go to the beach, hit the boat. Like we have skiing, everything. So, it's gorgeous up here. You nailed that. When you used to saddle, or before you started saddle hunting and Jimmy rigged yourself a thing together, were you hauling around like that big summit climber like I was hauling around? Were you part of any of that stage where you got camera gear, summit? I mean, I'm talking like 60 pounds of gear on the back.
Oh yeah. So I never had a summit. I was pre-summit. My dad gave me his climber. So I mean, I forget exactly the brand it was, but it was a fully enclosed climber. My uncle had one that the top part was not fully enclosed. It just had the seat and the handles. And I was always very jealous of that because it packed way better than mine. It was probably a good 3-4 pounds lighter. But I had the fully enclosed, just freaking steel, climber with the cloth fold down seat that, took 30 minutes to figure out how to finagle it back together and stuff the chains in every time you got done using it. And half the time I never got to that and I ended up just lugging it out, on my shoulder, getting all pissed off, running, getting caught on every honeysuckle tree under the sun. But yeah, that was my climber. I love the thing though. I mean, it got you in a lot of places I was not getting to, so, but it definitely, I mean, I had my fair share of throw the thing on the ground and get a little pissed late night after not seeing a deer trying to get out of there,
Funny story. I actually left one in the woods in Illinois because I was done with it. I was hunting with an outfitter and I had my climber and I was like, I'm done with this stupid thing. I left it out there and I said, hey, part of your tip's out in the woods there. So, but so we wanted to get you on today. You guys have been pounding out new gear this year. So we'd like to hit on some of that. What do you guys got going on over there? Saw quite a bit of stuff on the ATA floor there. So let's tell the listeners here what all the good stuff that's coming out of Latitude this year.
Yeah, I mean, like any year, we're trying to get better every year, so it's a constant initiative here of how can we improve on what we have or, launch something that's new. And so a few things coming out this year. Some go into categories we've not really been in. And then some, are just different performance levels of products that were already exist. So first one, the obvious one is the climbing sticks. That was a partnership with Tree Sticks. Tree Sticks came on board with Latitude, and we have tweaked and relaunched the Tree Sticks into the Carbon Synergy climbing sticks. And the Carbon Synergy, they're awesome. And that's what we saw in Tree Sticks. It's a proven stick that's been on the market. Jamie was a phenomenal engineer that worked with some great people to bring that to market. And you take a proven product like that, you put it in the hands of Jake, Kev, and the guys here, and they were able to tweak it and make what we believe is, the best climbing stick in the market. And like anything, it has its positives and negatives. There's some features about it that I think we would like to improve or change at some point, but there's a lot of just really awesome stuff. The first obvious one being the weight. They're coming in at 14.9 ounces. Makes them the lightest stick on the market. And just for, to visualize that, like a lot of top end sticks are around a pound a pop. Usually they're a little over a pound, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 pounds are your premium sticks, some even heavier in that price range. And the Carbon SS sticks come in at 18 ounces, so they're 1.1 pounds. And if you have 4 of those and 4 of these, you're saving basically a full pound to carry the Synergy sticks instead of the Carbon SS sticks or any other premium stick on the market that falls in that weight range. And like anybody, a pound isn't that big of a deal. No, not really. But where weight shines, in my opinion, is when you're doing a lot of mobile hunting and you do it over the course of the year, it's not the first sit that weight is really that important, or really even the second sit. But when you're on a trip and you're 6 days in and you're exhausted and you've slept 3 hours a night and you're walking 10 miles a day and you're trying to find a deer and you're hanging sets left and right, up and down, up and down, up and down, that weight really becomes very important because it stresses you out less. It wears you down less. And the least amount you can wear yourself down, the more energy and focus you have on finding and killing a deer. And that's where weight shines, in my opinion. So I think these reflect that. They're going to be extremely nice. They pack very well. So the Synergy sticks stack in line. They connect to each other. They have a connection point basically on the Versa button of each stick, and it's really cool. It's going to allow for different packability options on your pack, or however you choose to carry them in. But it also allows you to pack them on your saddle differently when you scale the tree. So, you can actually put them on one side of your hip. They all attach to each other. And as you climb, you take them off one by one, giving you much more of an efficient system to ascend the tree. They did add turnkey silencing, basically a silencing tape material to quiet all connection points on them. So that was something that was not on the traditional tree sticks. They cut them down a little bit to shorten them to get them in line with the length of Carbon SS sticks and fit. Essentially, that's just going to allow them to fit better and pack better on the packs. It did lighten them up a little bit too, which is nice. Each stick comes with a UHWMPE attachment method, which is basically an AmSteel equivalent rope that comes out of the box to give you that single hand attachment method with the clip. So that's a new attachment method design that was added to the stick by our guys, and that will be, our new premium attachment method. And it's really nice. It's extremely simple. It's fast, which is the beauty of it. It's kind of, it's pretty easy to understand, which is good. You essentially just wrap the UHWMPE around the Versa button and tuck it into the clip, and just gives you something quick and easy to get on the tree. It'll work with our aiders, our existing AmSteel aiders. You just slap them right on. The clip actually gives you the aider storage, which is really nice. So you can just fold that up the same way you fold your attachment method rope up and tuck it away. But yeah, that's the beauty of them. They use 2 types of carbon. So you got a long fiber carbon fiber post, which that is basically just a traditional carbon fiber tube that has a custom weave in it. and it's got a perpendicular custom pattern to give it maximum rigidity. And so the more rigid you can make the post, the sturdier the stick, the stronger the stick, the more strength it has. That in combination with short fiber carbon fiber technology, which is the molded carbon fiber steps and standoff and attachment method clip, those three things get added onto the carbon fiber post. You got the synergy. The two types of carbon fiber allow you to get to that maximum performance, ultra lightweight. And it complicates manufacturing, and therefore, in turn, you have a little bit of increased price. But if you're looking for the most premium, lightweight stick you can find, these are going to be it, and they're going to give you a lot of foot room for a stick of that weight. And that's kind of the question we wanted to solve. Like, our guys have designed, I think alone last year we had 3 different climbing stick options that were in the hopper and, didn't come to market just for one reason or another. And that's what these synergy sticks solve. They give you that ultralight spec, but they give you a maximum comfort in your climb. So you're going to get nearly an inch more foot room of standoff than you do on the Carbon SS. You're going to feel a lot more comfortable on them. And they're going to feel like a ladder when you grab them due to the round standoffs up there. And so you get a ladder-like feel when you climb. You get a lot more foot room, but you also gain the weight advantage at the same time. So that's the beauty of them.
Hey guys, Al here, Vitalize Seed. I hope you all are doing well. So we got a lot of new things happening at Vitalize this year, and I wanted to highlight some of those. First off, we got a brand new website. We just added a chat feature to that website, so you can get your answers to your questions in real time or as fast as possible. Those actually come directly to us, so we can answer those questions, as well as has some auto answer features for those frequently asked questions. So trying to further increase the customer service that we offer. Number 2 is we are offering bundles now. So we got a lot of questions about people trying to piecemeal things together. So we took the guesswork out of it for you. You want a fertility bundle, add that to your cart, and it gives you all of our natural fertility products in one place. We also are adding bulk pricing. So been asked about this in the past, and we've done some kind of one-off things. But for those people who are buying 5, 10, 15 acres, depending on the product, we're going to be offering some bulk pricing options for that. So right now we got that up on Nitro Boost. We also are going to have that up for the Clover, Chicory, and Oats offering, and might expand that to other offerings as well. Other things are new products. So we got our annual Clover. That's a fantastic product for frost seeding, and also for this early spring, especially for those who still want to plant Nitro Boost. You want to get that annual Clover established, you could go in and drill your Nitro Boost right through it, broadcast through it, mow it off, spray it off, etc. We got our premium Clover Plus. I'm using that on all my logging trails. That's a fantastic product. I'm also using that often with our Clover, Chicory, and Oats mix. So I might use Clover, Chicory, Oats in the first year on my logging trails like I did last fall. Let those oats come in, they'll die off, and then I can frost seed my premium Clover and Chicory over top of those trails now. So those are areas where I want a perennial crop growing. So I'm using that mix. And then we added our brassica mix as well. We of course have our seed feed and seed armor. Those are selling fantastic, and various other products, guys. So please check us out at vitalizeseed.com. We sure do appreciate you, and we're looking forward to a fantastic 2025.
Okay, how are they going to come? Are like individual a la carte, or are you doing like a 3-pack? And then what's the capacity on them, weight capacity for big guys like me?
They're hutch proof, so they're going to be 300-pound weight rating, and they'll come in a 3-pack or 4-pack. 4-packs $4.99, 3-packs $3.99. So you do save a little bit of money with the 4-pack.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, those look pretty nice. I like the additional standoff room for your boots and to grab onto versus having to grab around the tree. How high are you getting normally, Cory, when you're hunting with a 4-pack of sticks? And are you using aiders? How many aiders? Let's hear, how you use it in the woods.
Yeah, I throw an aider on each stick. Personally, I throw an Amstel aider that Latitude makes. I think they're basically 1 ounce a piece. There's really no penalty to carry them. But they give you an extra 18 inches of stick. So if your stick is 18 inches step to step, which those carbon synergy sticks are, they're 18.45 inches total length. They're, I believe, 17 step to step. So you add another 18 inches with the aider, you're basically getting a third step on each stick. And when I do that, I try to hang the stick basically at my chin. So as a ballpark, then, I can usually stretch the step onto the 8er from the ground and then take a step up each stick, which gives you right around 5 foot of stick that you carry. So if you want to get to 20 feet, you run 4 sticks, 4 8ers, single step 8ers, 20 feet's very achievable. You can even add another foot or two if you want to hang your platform a little higher than your top stick. If you take the 8ers out, I think you're going to lose, that is essentially that extra step per stick, which is giving you another 1.5 feet per stick. So you take, what is that? Basically another 6 feet off of that if you're not going to run the 8ers. So you might be 14, 15 feet with 4 sticks without 8ers. So for me, I mean, I like to bring 4, like my system's built around 4 with 4 8ers. Do I use that every time? A lot of times, I mean, most hunts I walk in with 3, or I bring all 4, but I end up only hanging 3 with 3 8ers, I mean, that's like anything with hunting. It's all situational dependent, but if I could pick the perfect amount to have, I'd have 4 in my system and I'd have another 4 in the truck. And, that way, if I ever need to hang 2 sets or if I need to leave a set in the woods, I still got another 4. Or if I find myself like, hey, maybe this tree is going to take 6 or 7 sticks, just that's where I have to be, but that's what's required, So that for me is the comfort zone, at least having 2 sets. If I'm traveling, I often have 3 full sets in the truck. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was something that I noticed this year hunting Michigan. I hunted only out of the saddle. And then Iowa, same way. I mean, West Virginia, wherever we hunted, we had those things. And having an extra set would have been nice for sure.
Yeah.
So when I can get a set of these and these come out and I buy these, I'm gonna be sitting pretty because I love the carbon series that you're already running. Like I'm dialed in with those things. So when these come out, I'll have 2 sets, and like you said, be able to leave one in. You make a decision overnight where you want to hunt the next morning. You don't have to tear stuff down. Even though I'm getting pretty quick at it, it would be a little, more beneficial.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, especially if you're hunting a property you've not been on and you got a short window of time, like say you're there for your rutcation for 5 days or whatever it is, and you go in, big scrape line, doe bedding area, whatever it is, rut hunt, it's like, all right, this is the spot for a north wind. It's money. I got my scrapes here. I got my doe bedding here. I want to spend time here. You hunt it that evening, you hang your set. In the morning's a south wind, and maybe you're not going to get that north wind again for another day and a half, but you want to be back in there. So it's like, leave that set, get out of the woods clean, quickly and quietly, take the other set for the next day, go hang somewhere where you want to hunt that south wind, hang that set, pull that one when you're done, and then you're back in for that north wind when you get it the next day, and you don't have to rehang that set. So I think that's the beauty of having multiple for sure.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I would also add that some of the trees that I got in this year were like that 10-point I shot in Iowa. I'm gonna post a video on Instagram of that setup. It's hairy, but it wouldn't have worked with anything else.
Right?
Nothing else would have worked. I was climbing over a deadfall that was across. I mean, it was awesome, man. Being able to go anywhere is just awesome.
Those always seem to be the kill sits when you're in the most sketchy situation of all time for whatever reason, and that's great.
Yeah, we were down in West Virginia, and our buddy Joel was like, or no, our buddy Jeff. He's like, it's just amazing that you and Andy are like, is there a stand up there? No? Well, that's where I want to go. And you guys just went. And he bought a set like the next week. He bought a full Latitude setup after that. And having that mindset, I mean, with those sticks on any tree, it's great.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite ways to hunt now is just to go, just take off into the woods and find the sign and get up in, just get up in a tree I can get up in, which is very fun.
Well, like we hear that story all the time, man. It's funny how that. Sorry, Hutch. I think it might be
you're good
here a little bit, but there's mobile hunting lights a fire under guys that have been basically hunting in the same spot for a long time. It's like a reignited sense of adventure almost. It's like a 100%. Freedom that gets added in. It's like, maybe it's not always the most efficient thing, but having it as a tool in your tool bucket, and giving you that thought of like, man, dude, I've hunted my farm for 10 years and I usually set these presets, and maybe you've had a ton of success doing that and you love it and you look forward to that every year. But then it's like, now you add this tool in the back of your tool bucket that, hey, if I need to hop over there at any given time, I can just go do that right now real fast. And I think it adds a perspective that kind of opens your eyes of how you look at the farm that you're hunting, and where you can be. And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I experienced that myself on my uncle's farm. We had all the presets in the world and still love them, and there's still a lot of logic in hunting a lot of them. But when you start being able to pop around with a saddle, it's like amazing how, you realize that mature buck that's lived on that farm for 4 years and he's learned to dodge your stands. You can throw him a curveball, all of a sudden by popping in, blindsiding him somewhere he'd never expected you to be,
I was just going to say that, man.
Yep.
Like, especially these Michigan bucks, they have you pegged from the time you park your truck. So
walk around with their heads up.
Yeah. So you got maybe one sit or two sits in a spot and they smell you after you left, and they know that stuff. So that's why I think the private land aspect of this is so advantageous. Like, you don't have to go hang 30 sets, before season just to be mobile and try to get on these bucks that have us patterned. So
right.
I couldn't agree more.
Right. Yeah. Michigan bucks, man, I swear they're born with like a kink in their neck. They just walk around looking up at everything. I learned that quickly up there. But it's funny. Like, saddle hunting it just gets stereotyped into public land constantly, and it shines there. You get a lightweight mobile system. Public land usually is large tracts of land that you normally couldn't afford to own the whole piece yourself, so you get to explore a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But God, is it a hell of a tool on a private farm? Especially if you haven't used that tool on that farm before. Where you can all of a sudden just be somewhere they do not expect. And
yes,
I don't think that gets talked about enough, to be honest with you. It's as much a private land tool as it is a public land tool, in my opinion. And sometimes it's even shines a little bit more there. But it's interesting.
Well, absolutely. Like you said there, I mean, there's, if you've got a spot that you've sat for, 10 years, that, it's a good spot. You produces every few years, but then to be able to take your mobile stuff, get, let's just say even 20, 30 yards away from that where they're not thinking you're going to be, and bam, done deal. Dead deer. Right. You got to love it. When are these sticks coming out, these new ones?
So most likely it'll be July,
okay.
Probably August conservatively. Fortunately, we were able to get a decent amount of Jamie's old inventory, so we're already hard at work on them. Guys are building them in the shop, doing all that. So nice. They'll be made in the USA, which is great, and we're just trying to make enough of them fast enough that we can get them out as soon as possible. But yeah, it'll be summer. No hard date on it yet, though.
Okay. Well, I think we've covered those. Let's move on to the packs, man. You guys have come out with some amazing looking new packs.
Yeah, the packs are exciting. So we launched the Ranger line last year, and those, God, it's been 2 years at this point. It's hard to remember anymore, but the Ranger packs are awesome. They served a huge purpose, and they kind of fill they're a great do-it-all system. The 22 really fits. You could pack nearly any type of saddle setup on it. You can use it literally on a tree stand, take the stays out, lighten it up, take the hip belt off. They do a lot. They're kind of a do-it-all answer. The categories of packs we were missing are like more niche, specialized use case packs. And so that's kind of where these two stem from. The first one being the Flyer pack. The Flyer pack was a Alex brainchild that he, essentially wanted the lightest, fastest thing possible, which, I quickly gravitated towards and loved. And, that concept stemmed from just being able to move, kind of freedom out there and giving your gear a system on your pack so that, having logical order of pulling things off or unpacking or repacking them allows you just to be a little more efficient and be quick. So if you do have to move around a lot, you kind of have this structured process to packing and unpacking your stuff. So we initially called that pack the jetpack, and that kind of, just stemmed from, it's supposed to feel like you got a jetpack on your back and you're just fast. It's light. It does have a frame inside of it, so it's not a frame pack, but it has a frame. And the purpose of that is it's an ultralight frame that doesn't give you a weight penalty, but it also allows you to pack your gear onto something that's structured and strong. So it's going to carry gear a lot better than packs that do not have any structured material inside them. So it does not have a hip belt. It's designed to be ultra light. I believe it's like just over 2 pounds. And you basically have that frame with the sleeve that you put your platform on. You fold another molly panel up that kind of covers that, and you can attach your sticks to that molly panel. That top molly panel has 2 pouches it comes with. We call them the flyer pouches. Those will come on the molly panel, but you can take those off and customize this panel however you like. So if you want to leave one of the bigger pockets on there and then maybe put some smaller pockets for your headlamp, your release, your grunt call, whatever it is, however you want to configure it, you can do so. And then the frame itself has integrated torque, what we call torque straps. Those are new for this year. So those integrate into the frame. And what that allows you to do, it's a very fast, silent, quick option to secure your sticks and also your platform at the same time directly to that frame very fast. And so that way you're securing the heaviest part of your load, which is your sticks and platform, to the strongest part of your pack. And you're no longer having that weight work against you. So like with a traditional frameless pack that we all had from Bass Pro growing up that wasn't designed to carry mobile hunting gear, but we all inherently started trying to do so when all this mobile hunting gear started coming out. Like, those packs weren't designed to carry gear. They were built for, your lunch, your layers, your grunt call, your, whatever it is you were going to bring into the woods to your preset. These packs are built for mobile hunting. And so they're built to carry gear first. That's the whole purpose. And that's what makes them nice. So it's going to make things feel a little lighter than it probably is, because it's going to carry the weight a lot better. But yeah, that's kind of the beauty of the flyer pack. It's minimal, and I think it's going to get labeled a minimalist pack, but it does have a frame. I mean, you could sucker down your layers and all kinds of stuff, and we've done that to it and kind of use it all year. So it's got a lot of neat features. It's the purpose-built pack for the saddle hunter.
Okay. And then also, I mean, you kind of can do any configuration you want with different molly packs and all that, right?
Right. Which that's going to be the fun, is seeing how guys, build them out. We do it our way, but as soon as something actually goes to the market and gets in the hands of the hunting public, we always get surprised with something cool, So there's a million ways to skin that cat. It's going to be really neat to see what guys do with it.
Yeah, I can't wait to get one in my hands.
I like how you have the platform and the weight, like you said, against your back, against the frame, versus maybe on top of your jacket, lunch, grunt call, way out here. How that leverage would work. That makes perfect sense.
You're putting the heaviest thing you're carrying as close to your body. And so it's working the least amount against you as it possibly can, one thing Alex and I have talked about, and he's pitched this, is if you were to carry a 45-pound weight plate up a hill and we were going to put it in a backpack that didn't have a frame, that plate is literally going to lean back and be fighting. And if you were to take it and attach a 45-pound plate to the outside of a frameless pack, like, think of how much that's going to just sag back. And, it's basic physics that the weight is pulling you backwards. If you were to take like a rucking pack or a rucking system that you can take that plate and you cinch it down to your back, now that weight is working with you and you have a little bit more control of it, allows you to walk and carry that thing a lot better. It's the same concept here. These are designed to carry weight appropriately and give you control of it, in turn making it feel lighter than it is.
Packermax.com. Have you guys used a Packermax Cultipacker yet? I know that being the first partner of the Habitat podcast, I've been using one for over 5 years now. Guys, Cultipacking is one of the highest rated and highly overlooked part of your food plot system. It helps maintain soil moisture, keeps it in the soil, improves seed to soil contact when you press those seeds into the dirt, and ensures superior seed germination for all seed types. I do not plant a food plot without Cultipacking. Guys, Packer Max and Lincoln over there, great company, great people. They have 5 different Cultipackers available at packermax.com. And they also have a roller crimper combo attachment for the Packer Max. So that's what I use. I can crimp, I can pack, I can do everything with my Packer Max crimper combo. They even came out with a 6-foot unit at packermax.com. Guys, be sure to utilize this piece of equipment when you're planting food plots to get the best success in your seed germination. Check them out, packermax.com. We have a code HPC25 at checkout to save money.
Couldn't agree more. Anything else on the flyer pack? I think I'm gonna have. That sounds pretty attractive. The Ranger 22 is my go-to right now. I got that thing dialed in really nice, but that sounds like it might be my next one. That's pretty cool.
It's honestly like it gets pitched as the flyer pack, which it is. It's fast, it's light, which you would immediately would assume like big public land. Let's get the lightest thing we can, go the furthest we can. It'll shine there. Where it also shines is that quick go-to setup to leave in the truck that you're hunting your farm and you're in your preset that is money, and maybe it's the rut and you've seen this buck pinned down with a doe, 400 yards away. You can just pop in the truck, grab that thing and go. It's simple. It's not like you got 100 moving parts here of stuff all over. You got to unpack your pack and remove it. It's very streamlined. So I think it's actually going to shine really well as like the guy that doesn't want to deal with a lot of shit. And that sometimes is the biggest intimidating factor with getting into saddle hunting for guys that hadn't done it before. It's like, God, like I got so many moving parts. There's so much going on here. This really dumbs it down. It's like you put your platform here and you put your sticks here and strap them down the rubber straps and go, and I think there's a beauty in that. I think a lot of people, that are trying to just make saddle hunting part of their arsenal and not who they are going to find a beauty in it for sure.
I like that. And these are high quality pieces of equipment too. Like you mentioned the Bass Pro stuff we all grew up with. I got one in my garage for turkey hunting. I bet I could fit a 30 pack of Bush Light in that thing. It's so damn big, like so to be and the zippers break off or whatever. Like, so what I like too about it is the high quality stuff and the development you guys obviously put into this stuff. That shines too when it's you're in the middle of the woods up a tree. Not sticking 4 foot off the tree. It's slim. It's nice.
Yeah, I mean, the flyer pack alone, we ran for over 2 years. The first one, I mean, there's been prototypes for longer than that. The first one I ever really ran in the woods was the trip we went to Nebraska and then Kansas. I ended up shooting my biggest buck. That trip in Nebraska, that same trip was Matt and Jake actually mailed us out a UPS package to this random little rinky-dink farmhouse we were staying in. And one day this guy just pulled up this dirt road and dropped off this giant, UPS package, and we unboxed it in this tiny little kitchen and threw them on our backs and went hunting with them for 2 weeks straight, and there was some really good stuff about those. There's some things we learned we needed to tweak, but those then got modified. We got more versions of them, continued to use them for the next 2 years. And that's kind of how a lot of these have came to life, is they're just filling what we feel are use cases when we're out in the woods hunting. It's not, it's not just spaghetti we're throwing at the wall, so I think that's what people will appreciate out of them, because it truly is something that was helping us in mobile hunting situations,
Well said.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's move on to the actual frame pack that you guys came out with.
Yeah, the frame pack's awesome. The practice pack. So, another one that's just been in talks for a long time. The whole saddle hunting boom, saddle hunting's obviously been around for a really long time, but then you had the saddle hunting boom kind of along with COVID and the whole public land boom and all that. And what I'm sure you guys have seen it. We've seen it too. There's guys just all over the internet and people we know and our own personal friends that are buying Western frame packs to do this mobile hunting because they're going places they've never been. They're shooting deer in places they've never shot them before. They're way back off the road. They're in some crazy thicket or some nasty swamp in Michigan that you're never going to be able to just drag a deer cart into and just pull this thing out, or maybe you can't take your ATV back there because you just got permission on this piece and you don't, have the ability to bring your ATV there. So finding solutions to get a deer out of the woods somewhere that you've never been before has been a focus for us. It's been a need that we've recognized, in the mobile hunting space. And I think a lot of people recognize that. And I think that's where the Western Frame Pack, see a bunch of guys running the Mystery Ranch pop-ups, even the Kafara frames or whatever it is as a whitetail pack. Even some of the exo frames, like I see guys running those and they will shine and work very, very well to get a deer out of the woods. What we found with them though is that a Western Frame Pack's built for Western hunting. They're built to pack an elk out, or they're built for multi-day trips. I have an extra frame I loved. I took it backpacking elk hunting, and it was designed to hold stuff for 7 days out there. You pack your sleeping bag and all this stuff, and there wasn't a frame that was purpose built for the whitetail hunter. And what we set out to figure out is how do we build a frame strong enough to pack out a whitetail deer, but light enough not to be a burden as your everyday hunting pack. And that was the question. So we wanted to make an ultralight compact frame. And so that was the goal. And the guys did a phenomenal job of it. Jake and Matt have done iteration after iteration. Again, this is a multi-year project coming to fruition. And so the frame itself is 22 inches, which is just enough to get just above your shoulders, but it's not going to be way up here like a lot of Western frame packs that are a little longer. You think about it, that makes a lot of sense. For your walk-in, you're not going to get snagged on a bunch of stuff, because you don't have something sticking way up over your head as you're ducking under honeysuckle or whatever it is. But B, an elk quarter is much longer than a whitetail quarter. You don't need as much height for support of this long leg that's going to be sticking up over your head when you're walking out. So we shrunk it down, give you that profile within your body. And they lightened it up, and they did that through a combination of a couple different types of tech again. And, so you got aluminum vertical supports in combination with carbon fiber cross supports and cider pressed nylon that allows this frame to have the strength of all of these materials, but also still flex and move and be ultra light, because this whole thing's not just a giant hunk of steel that's on your back. It's the lightest materials we can combine to give it enough strength, but be as light as possible. So the frame itself comes in at just 2.5 pounds. And to give you a perspective, a lot of Western frames, they're 5 to 8 to 9 pounds. So you're getting a pack that weighs similar to, a Ranger 22, Ranger 33, saddle hunting built packs, but it is actually a frame pack. And so that was the beauty of it. And the guys did a hell of a job. In total, the packs can be, 4.5 pounds when you include the bag. So you're still right in that premium pack weight for saddle hunting packs, but you now have a 27-liter bag, which is right in between our 22 and 33, which we found to be just a perfect size for somebody that wants to, be hunting way back and God knows where, and packing out a deer and what weight you need to bring in to do so. But yeah, it's a Godar fabric, 27-liter bag that has internal storage. It has a water bladder storage area. It has side pockets for Nalgene bottles. You get a phone, wallet, keys pouch up top. You get internal storage inside of there. And then the beauty of that main compartment is it's actually accessible when loaded. So pack this thing up, you get your gear, that it's a full zip compartment. So you have zippers on the bottom. You can actually slide up, just grab anything out from the bottom of the pack at the same time. There's an additional pocket on the bottom of the pack that you can slide a kill kit in, or slide, whatever else it is you want in there. And then on top of that folds up the MOLLE panel, which is just the compression panel for maybe your outer layers or anything you'd like to add to that. That is MOLLE cut. And so what that allows you to do is put any type of MOLLE pouch or any accessory pouch that you would like on top of there as well. So you can customize it. So the bag in combination with the frame, it's really a thing of beauty for the mobile hunter. So if you're the guy that you're going to find yourself in a situation that you might need to pack something out, like this pack's going to shine, or you're the guy that wants one pack that'll do it all, this is the pack. It truly is the most well thought out mobile hunting pack ever made. And I don't say that just because it's ours. I've used a lot of them. And these guys have put so many iterations into this thing. It's unbelievable. I mean, there's a lot of features we tried to cover at ATA, but there'll be continued features that we just got to roll out with the product launch of explanations, because there's so much little just nitty gritty stuff. You know, the bag can actually be detached from the frame. And the way that works is there's actually a MOLLE panel behind the bag that you could take this bag off and just run the frame and the MOLLE panel and customize that similar to the way you would the flyer pack with that MOLLE panel and do your own organization style. But then you still get the frame, you can still pack meat out, and you can load this thing up however you wanted. There's a new feature on the front of it called, we've been calling it dog bones, and I think that's what we're going to roll with, but it's a modified version of strap keepers. So, you know, you think of the Ranger 22. This is a flaw in it we've seen. Put your sticks on the center of the Ranger 22. You're going to pack them vertically, you know, and you got these straps that come across. They got buckles, and you can cinch those down really well. What happens is the buckle lands on the stick. And so you either got to shift it left or shift it right and tighten the left side of the strap down a little more than the right side of the strap, or however you want to do it. I usually do one tight on the left and my bottom strap tight on the right, just to give it balance. These are a soft material that will land right on the stick. So there is no noise. There's no buckle there to clang and clack when you're packing or unpacking it. And the straps keep themselves. So you basically just take this little G-hook, pop it into the soft material, and you can just cinch it down immediately as fast as it goes. And you have no tag ends to your strap because it's basically a continuous loop that cinches on itself. So it's just stuff that's not been seen in our space before that's going to require, you know, a little bit of education to the public, but it's little details that are going to make our lives, you know, a lot easier. I mean, you're going to have a lot less risk packing and unpacking your bag because now it's ultra quiet, and it was designed by guys trying to stay ultra quiet while they're hunting, you know, mature whitetails. So, you know, there's just a bunch of little features like that. You know, the frame does have an integrated crib load. So when you do have a successful harvest, you can basically pull the bag down. You got this crib load that is suctioned onto the back of the frame, deploy that out to give the frame basically like a cup, and then you can reattach the pack to that. So now it cradles the weight, you know, so if you got your quarters, you put them in game bags, you know, you put this in a weight cradle, you cinch that down. The pack has its own cinching method. So you cinch that down, it begins to cradle all your quarters. And again, you have the torque straps. So the torque straps are also on this bag. They're integrated in the frame. Those then wrap around everything, and you can just cinch it all down. So you can actually load this thing up with a quarter, 2 quarters, you know, fully boned out deer, and then take your gear that you went in the hunt with and attach it to the pack with the torque straps on top of that, and get yourself in and out in one trip. And so, you know, that's something I've personally ran into with frame packs. Like, you go in the hunt and you know, shoot something, you got to walk back out to your truck, get your frame pack, walk all the way back into where you shot that animal. You know, so you're doing a pack swap. You know, you're then checking like, what gear did I bring or not bring, or what's in the other bag, or what's in this bag? Am I forgetting something? You know, where are my game bags? Where's my knife? Where's my headlamp? You're no longer juggling all that. You know, this is a system built for, you can go in once, you can hunt, you can kill, you can pack out and get out. And so it's going to be pretty neat. It's something I don't think our space has seen before. So we're real excited about it.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I can think of an exact time I wish I had that pack. I have a lease that I hunt. We couldn't drive through the corn, right? It's standing.
Right.
Can't drive through it. Just a long way around. Gotta park at the guy's house is what he prefers us to do. So I'm already pulling. Then I decide to saddle hunt with a decoy. So full blown decoy.
Yep.
I'm going. I got decoy over my shoulders. I got my 22 on the back, holding all my gear, holding the bow, trying to go, I think 550 yards. I'm thinking now, strap that decoy to the back of that thing.
Right.
Free up a hand, you know, and at least be able to get myself in. Because yeah, we had to pack it out, pack the decoy out, then go back, and then we had to drag the thing across dirt through corn. You know, like that would have solved a lot of problems last year on private land for me.
Yeah. And I mean, that makes total sense. Yeah, the frame is always it always gets associated with packing out meat, which it should. That's what it's designed to do. But a frame, as we talked about before with the flyer pack, it allows you to carry so many things so much better, and if that frame cannot be a weight penalty, but still be the strength benefit that a frame provides, that's the beauty of it. I mean, you could put your full mobile hunting system and a decoy on there, cinch that thing down and go in. It's the pack for that. It's the pack for carrying. It's the guy that wants to be prepared for anything. That is where this pack's going to shine. And that's really interesting. I can't wait to see all the use cases guys come up with. I mean, once again, it's like there's always this like persona that it's just a public land thing, but it's not. I mean, going to a lease, especially an out-of-state lease that you don't have your side-by-side with you, or whatever it is, like there's a lot of need for that. And if you're like me, I don't care if it's 100 yards or if it's a mile. I don't really want to drag a 200-pound buck that far. I mean, it just damn near kills you anymore. So, yeah, I mean, if you get the opportunity to pack something out, that's the other thing is packing a deer out. I think, a lot of people have done it, but I also think a lot of people maybe are slightly intimidated by it. And it's one of those things that once you do it, you realize like, oh my God, like this is way easier than I thought. And it's way more efficient to get everything out of the woods and deal with. You get back to camp and you have a quartered up deer. You hang the quarters, you process them in the morning or take them to the processor, and it's half your work's done. And you're no longer dealing with this giant carcass that you drug out of the woods. And unless you have to do that wherever you're hunting, but it's an interesting thing. I think there's going to be a lot of people moving towards that concept that maybe have never done it before. And I think this will allow them to do that and learn and not deal with, do I buy the Ranger 22 and have to go buy a Western frame pack and have to have 2 packs and have to have 2 headlamps for each pack and, whatever it is, it's going to be that do it all system, which would be cool.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see this replacing both my Ranger 22 and my Ranger 11 because I keep my Ranger 11 as basically as a gutting pack. So, you got to go back out, get it, go back in. So I can see my kids getting some new backpacks and me getting a new frame pack and a new flyer pack. I can see that in the future.
It's gonna be a good Christmas at Hutch's house. I'll tell you.
That's right. I don't know. Don't let my wife see the credit card bill though. We'll keep her out of that. So, what's the release date on these packs? I know. I mean, I'm not going to hold you to it, but just a rough idea when you guys thinking these are going to hit the market.
Yeah, it'll be summer again. Everything we're trying to get out earlier and earlier. So it'll be this summer, well before season, which would be nice.
Well, that's good. It'll give me time to save my money to be able to do this. I love it.
Right.
Anything else coming out this year? Anything you can talk about or anything?
Yeah, there's some cool stuff. Those are like the 3 big heavy hitters for sure. But we got basically a whole revamp to the line of ropes. So the vapor lines are getting revamped, which will be really nice. They're getting a new hitch, some stuff that little additions that will make them very efficient. We're launching a 7mm rope, which will be our smallest rope yet. That thing's going to be sweet. It comes with the new hitch again, which basically replaces the need for any mechanical ascender. It's ultra light, ultra packable. Personally, very much looking forward to those. I like very packable ropes. Just less bulk. Yeah, that's kind of in the line. And then there's variations coming out, like we'll have the Mossy Oak Method 3 that'll launch this year. And we haven't done the Method 3 in any camos, and it just looks freaking sweet. So that'll be exciting. A couple different accessory pouches, more pouches, saddle pouches, new versions of those. Some, we'll leave for launch, but I don't know that many pouches have been done like this. So there's just some tweaks we've made that, we think we can fine tune and make them better, and stuff like that. But that'll be the backbone of the year. Some accessories, new ropes, the multiple packs, and the sticks.
Hey guys, it's Frank over here at Morse Nursery, and some exciting news has finally came out, and we have persimmon back in stock. Not just any persimmon, our self-pollinating late drop candy and magnet persimmon, as well as our infamous big buck pack. That includes 8 chestnut trees of all the different drop times and a selection of our late drop self-drop persimmon as well. Tree kits are included, and if you want an extra 15% off, use Habitat code Habitat15 at checkout.
Awesome. I can't wait. So kind of shift gears here a little bit, get into a little more deer campish style. How was your season this year, man? I know you got a little one now, and did that hamper your getting out and all that good jazz?
Yeah, that was a hell of a learning curve for me there. I always knew it would be, I guess, but like I have a whole new appreciation for all you guys that have hunted with kids for a long time.
It gets easier, I promise. It gets easier.
So.
It might be a little while, but it gets easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Then it just costs you more money because they want to go with you, and you got to buy 2 or 3 of everything. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very much so. Looking forward to those days. But it's funny to me. There's 100 different ways to look at this too. But there's guys that are very young, don't have a family or maybe not in a relationship and don't have financial responsibilities that a older adult may have, and run around the country and kill a bunch of deer. There's some bad dudes and they're doing some cool stuff. But what I've learned is that guy with 3 kids that only gets 1 week a year that still kills big bucks, like that's a bad son of a gun, man. He's he's balancing a lot of life with that deer hunting there. But unfortunately, very blessed and got to get out a lot, even with our first kid here. Got to go to Nebraska, ton of fun. Shot a doe out there. We rolled around with the guys. Alex shot a good buck. Carvin shot a buck. Kevin shot a buck. We had just one of the most fun deer camps ever out there. Came back, took a break for a while. That was early September, and then October. Ohio opens right before October, usually like September 28th range. Floats and didn't really have much going on for early season or anything pinned down, and I was hunting public here. So, had Joey come out mid-October. We got to run around some public in Ohio, and we hunted our butts off hard mid-October, and we were just getting skunked. It was tough. We couldn't find anything moving. We were finding a bunch of sign, but it just seemed like whatever we were doing, it just was not working. And we took a little break. He went home and he hunted back home, and then a couple days went by, about a week. He came back out. We hunted that basically that 3rd week of October, it was like the 23rd frame through what we were going to do like the 28th. Ended up shooting a nice buck on public on the 25th. So I got to do that, fill my Ohio tag, and that was just, it was a ton of fun. Like Joey and I went freaking hard in the paint for it was really a 5-day trip mid-October, and then I think we killed on our 6th day of that second trip. So like we were going morning to night, 11 out of basically 15 days there late October, and it wore me down, but it was a freaking blast. Just kind of felt it's one of those bucks that you kind of measure by miles and time and effort, not necessarily the size of his rack. He's like he's a good 125-inch public land deer. I was very happy with him, but the amount of ass kicking we took to get that buck was the beauty in it, So I did that, and we had fun. We packed him out, which was sweet, with the Ranger 22, which was really cool. We shot him way back on a piece of public. We went out in the morning, crossed some water, and walked a good 1.5 miles, and thought we were going to get skunked. We were both exhausted, and shot him, packed him out. We got Joey home. He went home and shot a buck. He started hunting hard, shot a buck a few days after that in Ohio. He got done with that. So as soon as he shot his deer, we decided to go out to Missouri. So he drove back down. We rode out to Missouri, hunted out there with Al, D-Rock, couple other guys. We had just a big camp out there. It was a freaking blast. And shot a buck in Missouri, packed him out. after a few days and came home, and then I was just done. Just chilled out the rest of the year. So
Nice.
yeah, it was a fun year. Got to travel around, hunt some places I've never been. So that's always awesome.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you guys had a good season of grit too from last year on YouTube. I always enjoy following you guys on there and watching those videos. It's almost like get to be in camp. And I was driving up north mid October this year, and I look behind me and I see this white Yukon with a rack. I'm like, I know those guys, Pulling to the gas station, it's D-Rock and Al. They're pulling in to get lunch. I'm getting gas, heading to hunt with Andy and my group of guys. So it was pretty cool to run into those guys on the road up there. Pretty random,
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That deer, it was that in Michigan.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That buck, Al shut up there. That's going to be just such a cool, it's just going to be a wild film. Like, I don't know that many things have been filmed like that. I mean, D-Rock did a hell of a job with it. The footage I've got to see from it's just epic. I mean, it's going to be a cool story, man. That one, there's a lot of grit, episodes I get excited to watch. That one's probably top of the list for me. It's just going to be really neat. It's a public land swamp buck in the pouring rain, And
I love it.
Not many pouring rain hunts get filmed, So,
no, yep, exactly.
Well, awesome, Cory. Anything else we want to hit before I get into our rapid fire segment?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of all I got. I mean, we're working hard to get the product out as fast as we can, and the whole grit season, all that stuff got filmed. D-Rock and them are heads down on that right now, and AB, and they'll have all that ready to launch hopefully in the summer, and should be a good year. I hope you guys are able to get out and do some shed hunting and some walking right now. I think that's top of my list for maybe this weekend. So, this is a busy time of year for us, but I love this time of year. It's like you get to go enjoy the whitetail woods without the fun stress that hunting adds. It's like just go enjoy it and walk. So that's on my agenda the next few weeks.
Okay, well, up here you're gonna have to shovel 2 foot of snow if you're gonna go shed hunting. So it'll be a little bit longer for me.
Right.
I do have one more question about the frame pack. Will it hold a 30 rack of Bush Light?
We're gonna have to test that one. I think Jared's got to be the guy for that. So
I agree.
Awesome.
We'll find out. Awesome. We'll find out.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out here pretty soon. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna test that decoy too. I gotta get that out and try that decoy on there too. We'll have some good Instagram stuff coming for you here soon, buddy.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that.
No, well, everybody who listens to this podcast now is like our busiest time of year. So guys getting out in the woods, chainsawing, you know, keep in mind a couple of trees that you might want to leave standing for one of these setups, guys. I mean, this is the only way I hunt now, unless I have kids and I shove them in a blind. But besides that, let's roll into the rapid fire brought to you by Latitude Outdoors every week here. Cory, I'm going to hit you with a few of these. It's a pass fail, yes or no? Not really yes or no. All right, favorite beverage, go.
Oh, man. Right now, it's probably. Are you familiar with Rheingeist?
Mm-mm.
It's a Cincinnati brewery.
Okay.
They make some really good IPAs, which I'm not usually the IPA guy, but my brother has a really good buddy that works at Rheingeist, so he's always got every IPA under the sun at his house. So he's been growing on me there. They make a Juicy Truth, which is like a heavier IPA that, for whatever reason, that's been my drink. I don't know if it's fruity or not. It's like a heavy IPA, but that's been what I've been enjoying lately. So,
all right,
awesome.
If it goes IPA, I like those citrusy ones myself too. Yep. All right, favorite venison recipe. What are you doing with all these back straps or whatever?
Chili is definitely the number one in our household. My wife likes the deer chili, so we're always doing deer chili. But for me, I definitely like literally just to take the back straps. I like to basically cube them up and do like steak bites with them. A lot of garlic, a lot of butter. Do that with a sweet potato for lunch. That's right up my alley.
Now you're making me hungry.
I love it. All right. Food, water, or cover. When you're out there on public or private and you're mobile, what kind of habitat are you looking for? Food, water, cover. Let's hear a suggestion there.
Cover's number one, but one thing I've definitely, especially Western hunting, is it's water. I'm finding not like a pond standing water, but a good creek by some cover is usually very prolific, it seems. So
All right.
merging those two.
Great answer. Best tree species for saddle hunting. Is there one?
Oh, I'd say not a sycamore, but yeah,
or a shagbark hickory.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, really, just a good white oak. I'd love to hunt out of. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's the beauty is you can pick and choose there.
Love
Absolutely.
it. What bow are you shooting these days?
I shot the Matthews Lift the last few years, the 33, and really like that. Might shoot the New Arc this year or just continue shooting that because it's working for me. But I traditionally shot a kind of like bows in that 31 range. This 33 was the first longer bow I've never had a 33 axle to axle. I've shot a lot of 29s, a lot of 31s, and 30s. But I definitely found a lot of forgiveness in it. It really shot smooth. I think I might gravitate to a little longer ATA going forward. So we'll see.
Good answer. All right. Last but not least, one saddle tip that the listeners need to hear. Saddle hunting tip. Could be for beginners, could be for the guys on private thinking, does this relate to me, which we've covered quite a bit today. What's one tip that you're always like, yeah, guys, this is it?
Keep it simple and get the pieces you need. So don't overcomplicate it. That's the beauty of saddle hunting is, yes, it can seem complex. There's a lot of pieces, but keep it simple. That's why you're buying a saddle. You want the flexibility it brings to allow you to move around. So don't complicate it too much. It becomes a burden. And get the pieces you need so that you're comfortable. It's just like golfing to me. You can go golf and you can get rid of your wedges or you can get rid of your driver and you can still golf. But it's not exactly the most convenient way to do it. So figure out what's the most important core pieces for you. Get the needed pieces to make sure you're comfortable and efficient, and then keep it simple from there. That would be a tip.
Man, great words to live by right there. I love it. I like the golf analogy there too.
It's a real thing. I mean,
true.
You can saddle hunt without a platform. You can golf without a driver. I don't know that
That's
recommend
right.
either.
Yeah. I'd also add that once you get those pieces and you get those dialed in to where you're comfortable with them, there's nothing better. Like the time it takes to set up diminishes. Your chances increase. There's so many pros. You can tell by talking to you today how much time and thought your team has put into it. So we appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun to be here, guys. Really appreciate you both and appreciate everything you're doing. And I do want to start picking your guys' brains. We have a little family farm that I haven't hunted in the last few years and really want to hunt it this next year. And we used to do a ton of land management with it and kind of backed away from that just due to time. And it's a resurfacing interest for me greatly. So definitely going to need some help there.
Awesome.
We would love to help you. Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. It's always good catching up with you.
Yeah, no, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
And thanks a lot, Cory.
Thank you for tuning in to the Habitat Podcast. We really do appreciate you guys coming back every week to get this awesome Habitat content. And we would appreciate it if you went to iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to this podcast and leave us a 5-star review. That helps us continue to grow and trend in the right direction, attract new listeners, and help us provide better content in the future. Guys, we have a website full of resources. We have a blog on the website. We have YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all linked up at habitatpodcast.com. Our land plan services, merchandise, decals, hats, t-shirts, and I give away a free 5-inch decal to anyone who leaves us a review on Apple iTunes. Really appreciate it. I want to thank our partners, Downburst Cedars, Vitalize Seed Company, Morse Nursery, Packer Max Cultipackers, Stealth Outdoors, First Light, Latitude Outdoors, United Country Midwest Lifestyle Properties. Thanks again, guys. We'll be back next week with another great episode of the Habitat Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.